Hello, welcome to a new video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me as usual. I'm very appreciative of you uh, being willing to just tag along with me in this journey that is navigating my mental health and life circumstances. So, I already went through my daily cycle of hope, hopelessness, hope, hopelessness, devaluating myself, thinking that I can actually make it through the other side of the storm. You know, I already did my early morning crying, and I'm having quite a tough day, body image wise. Uh, Probably the daily crying with constant puffy face and red nose, and actually very little items that I can use for skincare and stuff. That probably doesn't help to make me feel better about myself. I don't feel cute. I don't look cute. It affects me. It affects the way I see myself. And I know the way I see myself is not necessarily the way that others see me. And sometimes I've had this discussion with my therapist when I start to actually saying kind of really bad things about myself and really very negative self talk, and I'm ugly, I'm worthless, I'm this and that. And he rolls his eyes. And it's like, well, kind of maybe the way you see yourself is not the ways others see you, right? But I'm actually going through this right now, especially considering that life is quite hard for me at the moment, and sometimes I feel completely powerless and hopeless. And sometimes people offer some kind of help, but it's usually with an ulterior motive, and it makes me feel really bad, like I don't have much value on myself if it's not for people wanted to take advantage of me. Not everyone, let me be clear, but it has happened quite often lately, and I think that is simply because I'm in quite a vulnerable position right now as an immigrant alone, um, a woman. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen to other people, but I just happen to speak from my own experience, and I'm all this, um, so I feel like there is a lot of value placed on my image and on my body, and I don't actually understand that. Um, because what I usually tell my therapist is that I am quite a complex human being. Like, we are complex human beings. And sometimes people see only one part of me, and which is actually the part that I dislike the most. And that is like there is this kind of dissonance in the way how some people see me, in the way I cannot accept compliments because I think people are being just nice and polite and kind. And at the same time, uh, I'm I'm going through this phase in which I'm actually very actively avoiding my own reflection as much as possible. So now sometimes I catch a glimpse of it, and it's hard for me to see myself and to put myself out there. Um, so that's why what I wanted to talk about today was my disordered eating patterns and my body dysmorphia. And this is kind of what we were kind of discussing now, is body dysmorphia. And that's why in the thumbnail you probably will see me with a plate of fruit, because we are going to tackle this topic with my therapist. We started tackling this topic, the idea that I feel like I don't deserve to eat. And this is obviously a disordered thought. Uh, of course, we all deserve to eat. Uh, the thing is how we go about it. Um, because as I've mentioned in previous videos, I tend to use food as a coping mechanism, maladaptive coping mechanism. It's not healthy the way I do it. And it's either I go to, the both extremes, binge, restrict, binge. That reflects on my body, fluctuation in my weight, inflammation, all that. And I told my therapist, okay, now I'm on this phase of the cycle. I have the urge to go to the other opposite. Let's do something about it. Let's tackle it, because I want to make it stop. I want to actually heal this, because this is obviously a symptom of something else. And as a person with borderline, these things very often come together. You know, eating disorders or disordered eating habits and patterns and disordered thoughts in that sense is not uncommon. So this is a symptom of something else. In this case, for example, is that idea that I cannot control much of what's going on in my life right now. And that idea that I seek comfort in food, but I think I don't deserve food. It's kind of a complex topic. And this is, of course, I'm speaking just purely and solely from my own experience. Uh, so, I feel extremely uncomfortable eating in front of others. Extremely uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable when people watch me eat. And I have some patterns that are very spotably disordered, depending on where I am. For example, sometimes I can eat extremely fast without barely chewing at all. And that obviously causes me big discomfort, first of all, psychologically, but second, also physically, because digestion starts in your mouth, in your chewing. So then I get an upset stomach. Um, I don't know. It's like the brain doesn't have the time to catch up and to say, okay, you're feeling satisfied now, feeling full. So I keep on eating because the brain didn't catch up yet that I had already enough food. I feel sick, and so on. And sometimes people may notice that. If I'm on another kind of phase, I do something else that is cutting my food in extremely tiny little pieces and eating it very slowly. And I don't like, if someone already stops eating, I feel again, maybe it's probably because I don't like being watched while I eat, or because I don't want to be perceived as someone who eats too much. If the other people around me stop eating, I stop eating too. Um, and then there is this big issue with leftovers, like that idea of wasting food. You shouldn't waste food. So if someone gives me some portion that for me is objectively too big, and sometimes people do it out of hospitality, and politeness and stuff, I feel the need that I need to clear the plate anyway, even if I'm feeling sick, you know. So we're starting to tackle all of these topics, and as I mentioned, next time I make it physically to my therapist office, for the first time I'm going to eat something in front of him, and that is going to be a huge deal. I It takes a lot of courage to do this. So I thought it needs to be something very easy, mess free, because after all, it's his office. And it's not that I can go and eat, I don't know, some Thai food or Indian food and this and that. So I was thinking of fruit. Um, I don't know, it still makes me feel uncomfortable. I was thinking of a banana because it's one of my fear foods. Um, but at the same time, I'm kind of trying to limit my carbs as much as possible because of I have inflammation issues. We decided that I'm not going to fully cut out any food groups, just because for my mindset is not good, because I can become really obsessive and I can end up cutting more and more and more. So what we're going to do is we're going to some limit my carbs and try to choose like try to avoid processed carbs, things that really don't give me much of a nutritional value or anything, or that kind of things. So after all, I decided to go for a protein bar, and I'm kind of nervous about it. Um, but at the same time, I'm excited about it because I'm finally handling a topic that has been haunting me for years of my life, many years. This kind of disorder eating habits, uh, when you're already an adult, it's kind of stigmatized. It's usually seen as something like a white teenage girl attention seeking kind of thing, and that's very far from the truth. Adults can and do still struggle with disorder eating. Men, boys, everyone and anyone, and that's why I decided uh, to put this out there, because I know I'm not the only one who is an adult with unresolved food issues, and that all this stems also from trauma. I know this very well. So I decided that it's time to heal, when enough is enough, and this has been enough for me. It has been years and years of suffering, years of not liking myself, years of treating my body poorly, not always consciously, but sometimes very consciously as a form of punishment. So this is where we are at now. Um, I'm again going through these cycles of hopelessness and hope and this and that, and my daily morning crying. And then again, I decided to do something about it, something helpful, and that is this video. So, if you made it this far, thank you very much. I hope you might consider subscribing, maybe liking the video, maybe leaving a comment. Uh, Obviously, I'm still a tiny baby YouTuber, and I don't know how far I can grow, but I will do my best because this is a project that is very dear to my heart. This is not just me filming myself. Well, for now, it is just me filming myself. But it's more. Behind this, there is so much more. It's creating awareness around mental health, is sharing a journey that I hope um, it is my healing journey, and I hope it can inspire others, uh, you know, to seek the help they need. So again, thank you very much. I hope you're safe. I hope you're okay, and see you in the next video.